Immigration reform lately has gotten out of hand, and it's mostly in part due to ICE. I believe the United States federal government should defund and move away from ICE for immigration reform. First, we should ask ourselves, what is ICE? As stated by the official government website, ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It has four branches, but the two of concern at the moment are enforcement and removal operations and the Homeland Security Investigation Department. The first is responsible for immigration arrests, detention, and deportation procedures to anyone deemed a threat or breaking immigration laws. The second department is responsible for investigating crimes from terrorists and gangs to investigating exploitation of immigration and custom laws on harm. One can ask, what has been the problem? The answer is that in ICE's quest to pursue its goals, it has ultimately caused more harm. An article from Brookings covers the infamous events that have put ICE under scrutiny. On January 7, 2026, ICE agent Jonathan Ross killed 37-year-old mother Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. On January 24, 2026, another citizen, 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Preddy, was shot to death in the street by an unnamed agent. Another article from CBS News says that less than 14% of 400,000 immigrants had violent criminal records. Finally, an article from NYU School of Law states that the ERO is arresting anybody from parents to workers to neighbors to green card holders and now citizens. They reference arrests from 2018 where two dads were dropping off their citizen children and a mother who was taken off the street leaving her three citizen children alone. On significance, we must question what conditions are responsible for these continued actions. For starters, ICE has recently increased recruitment and made adjustments to their training program. Giuliani law firm states that ICE has shortened and reduced its training from 16 weeks to about 8 weeks, along with reduced firearms training and limited prep for crowd control. ICE also lures in people with sign-on bonuses to get recruitment. ICE's desperation has blinded them from seeing their money being wasted to only catch 40% of the actual threats. In addition to wasted funds, deportations of the people they're hiring only hurt the economy. According to the National Immigration Law Center, mass deportations are forecast to reduce our nation's GDP by more than 7% in the next 3 years. They also say immigrants pay almost $580 billion in taxes. Since ICE is targeting everyone, legal or not, the country loses plenty of tax money along with essential workers. On inherency, it's important we discuss the root of the increased intensity of the current issue, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. ForumTogether.org explains the details of the bill. They state that the OBBBA is a budget reconciliation bill signed into law by President Trump. The bill spends $70 billion on border security, $75 billion for ICE to expand operation and increases fees on immigration processes. The cost of this bill? A 1% remittance tax, tax credit restrictions, limited food assistance, restrictions on healthcare premium tax credits, and more. The point of these changes is to restrict essential benefits from immigrants and citizens in mixed status households. We've made citizenships and benefits so hard to achieve, it's no wonder people want to enter here illegally. We've created a cycle of limiting access and wasting money on kicking people out. On the plan, there needs to be a way to handle immigration without costing our economy and integrity. The plan? Legalizing and or granting citizenships to aliens. The CTO Institute suggests 3 different ways Congress can grant legalization. The first is tier legalization, where illegal immigrants could be legalized quickly and cheaply without a path to citizenship or an expensive path towards one. The second is rolling legalization, where illegals could legalize their status on an ongoing basis. The third is limiting legalized immigrants to sponsor family. The advantages of the plan are that we could further profit from work from immigrants by settling realistic limitations that prevent an enormous inflow while still being humane. After all, the U.S. immigration is critical to the economy. According to Council of Foreign Relations, immigrants totaled 48 million out of 335 million and generated 1.7 trillion in economic activity in 2023. They paid 652 billion in taxes. Undocumented immigrants held 299 billion in spending power and paid close to 90 billion in taxes. On solvency, we can see that immigrants are essential. Citizenship might not be such a bad idea after all. AmericanProgress.org says that legalization would create hundreds of thousands of jobs and would generate tax revenue. They provide 4 scenarios of legalization: all undocumented immigrants in essential roles, undocumented immigrants eligible for the American Dream and Promise Act, and undocumented immigrants who are essential or eligible for the American Dream and Promise Act. The author, an economics professor, finds scenarios 1 creates GDP growth of 1.7 trillion, scenario 2 989 billion, scenario 3 799 billion, and scenario 4 1.5 trillion. In conclusion, we need to show more love to immigrants. There are indeed bad eggs and lawbreakers, but impulsive, inaccurate targeting isn't the answer. We could be diverting funds towards creating jobs and better controlling the immigration system. A decreased budget on ICE would only allow for more precise operations. Thank you.